So welcome to the first lesson of learning how to sketch from the basics. So today, in today's lesson, I will be introducing the basics by simply discussing the materials that you're going to need for drawing class. Okay. So ultimately, when you want to start drawing, one of the first things that you need to look at is the kind of pencils that we use and the kind of paper that we use for sketching. Now, let's start off with the paper. This is a very small sketchbook. You can go to any kind of traditional art supply store and select a proper sketchbook. The price for these can of course vary from extremely cheap to extremely expensive. So it depends again on your budget. However, if you are a beginner, I would suggest that you do not buy too cheap paper. And the reason for that is you can learn to draw on any kind of paper. However, if you were to use something like photocopy paper, for example, it's not really suitable for sketching or pencil sketching for that matter, and it smudges quite easily. The other one, of course, is watercolor paper, which you can use, but it's actually more suitable for watercolor. So what you're looking at is, and then of course the other thing that you want to look at is, and this is often a quality issue, if you've kept sketchbooks for a very long time, for many years, you will notice that the papers start to yellow. That's called aging. So a lot of the times artists would choose paper that doesn't have that acidic quality to it. It doesn't yellow very easily. So that's the higher end of the brands. Now, just off topic, mentioning this to you just verbally, I would say that one brand that comes to mind is Archer's. Now that's the very expensive quality paper. Now this particular sketchbook is just a normal sketchbook I'm going to show you here. You can't really see, it's a beige color. This is what it looks like, and it has a tear off piece here. You get different kinds, so you can look at brands, or you can look at just something like this. This is just something that I picked up at the art supply store, and I specifically used a smaller size for my camera. You can of course go to a much bigger size. You can use either an A2 size or an A3 size or A4 or even a 1 or a 0. But this would also become in handy. Now, one of the things you want to notice about when you open the sketchbook here, you want to look at, it has this kind of, the thickness of the paper can also vary, the quality. Usually if it's very thin, that's usually very cheap. If it's very thick, then it's good quality paper. Also, it has a slight texture to it. You want to feel that, which is ideal for sketching. So I chose a book that was somewhere, or a sketchbook that was somewhere in the middle for this. Now, so of course this one tears out easily. So it has a piece here and it's got different pages. So what you want to look at is your selection of paper. The second thing you want to invest in is pencils. Okay, now I grew up with a specific set. I grew up with Faber-Castells. That's just a brand. I'm not endorsing them, but that's the sketch pencils that I grew up with, and I use those. Now I'm in Taiwan, so I have, this is a particular brand, a local brand, which I have picked up here. Now, just to show you something with the differences in what kind of pencils. So you will have, you usually get a set of either 8 or 12 or up to 24 to 36 pencils, it depends. So what you want to look at is the different ranges. So let's have a look at the set of pencils here. So let's, for example, I can't really show it to you here. I'm just going to go here. Now you'll see it has a letter there, H. Now this usually stands for, in what I've learned, is the quality of the lead, like the hardness or the thickness. Okay, so this is kind of what if you go way back, someone who did either technical drawing or, drawing in terms of planning things, they would use this kind of pencil. Now for sketching, we do not, traditional sketching and art, we don't use this kind of pencil, simply because the lead is very hard, and when you try to erase it, it makes like a dent mark. So this kind of pencil would be ideal for someone, say, doing a technical drawing, or an architect or an interior designer. For traditional purposes, they use this kind of pencil. So you'll have a look here. I've got an H, and this one is a 2H. So this is another pencil that we won't be using for drawing, and it can go all the way up to 8H. Now with this particular set, I have another kind of pencil, which is F. From my personal experience, very similar to I don't know, an HB pencil. I would sometimes use this for basic drawing or not, depends. So I'm going to leave this aside. So, and then of course you get your B range pencils. So I'm going to sort out my B range pencils right here. This is 2H, I don't need. Okay, so any pencil that has an H on it for sketching, you're not going to use it. So you can toss it away, throw it away. I had a teacher who once told us we could break the pencil because we're never going to use it. As you can see, I've barely used this pencil. I barely touch it. I don't use it. So yeah, it just gets tossed aside. So these are the pencils I'm going to be using. Now, again, this is an F, just to go through it. That is an 8B. If you have a look here, the higher the number, the softer the lead is, and the thicker and the darker it is. So let's have a look here. Okay, HB. HB is something that you would use for writing, letters and writing words and such things. This is something that you would have seen in your classroom. Now, this kind of pencil, we don't really use that for drawing. Again, this is more for writing or for classwork, not really for art. So put this pencil aside. Okay, so what we're left with is our B range pencils, a lot of H pencils here. So I would have, for example, a 6B. Let's go through it again. 6B, and I would have a 4B right here. That's a 4B. I would have 3B, 2B, and 5B and 6B. Now, most pencil sets, when you open them, they'll go up to either 6B, which is normal, and occasionally they'll go up to 8B or 9B. Just to mention, a higher quality brand that is most popular is the Derwent brand. However, you can use Faber-Castell, or you can use the sketching pencils that I've got here. So, important thing is when you pick up the supplies. That's very important. So basically, these pencils, your H pencils, bye-bye. You don't need them. So now let's just start off. Okay, this is a very small eraser that I've got here. You can also invest in a Rasterplast eraser or a soft Mars eraser, which is the ideal one. You get another kind, which is a soft one, which is actually used more for charcoal. So don't use that. I haven't got that on my hand available right now, so this is the one I've got. So, right, so set your table ready. Let's get started. Okay, so again, just to show you. Now, when you start to pick up a pencil, this is very important. You're going to start off with either a 2B or a B pencil. I'm trying to look for my B pencil. Where's that's my F pencil. Again, set up your table. Make sure that all your pencils are sharp. Have a decent sharpener before you start. So I want to pick up, let me see. I can't find it. Where is it? No, my HB. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with my F pencil in this case. Or you can start off with your B pencil, which is the lightest. So just to show you what I mean by, okay, this one. I'm just going to draw a line here. That's F. Okay. Then I'm going to start off with my next one that I've got here. I'm supposed to have a B pencil. I don't seem to have it. Okay. Let's do 3B. Okay, 3B. You'll see there. That's the 3B pencil. And this one over here, 4B. 4B. Show you that one. And I should have a 5B here somewhere. Okay, this is a 6B. There you go. That's a 6B. You'll see 5B. Okay. This one. 7B. And there we go. 8B. Okay. So you'll see that as you go, the higher the number goes, the darker it is. So to mention to you what the H pencils would look like. So here we go. Let's start off with an H. Where's my H? Okay, that's an H. H to H. Here we go, 2H. So it goes lighter. Again, we don't use our H pencils, we only use our B range pencils. So the higher the number, the softer the lead is, the darker it is. So for drawing, you really want to start off with your lightest pencil, which can either be a B for most selections, or it could be a F in this case. Now, let's get started. So you want to set your table ready. So if you're right-handed, pretty much all your tools are going to be on the right-handed side. If you're left-handed, it's going to be this side, just for comfort. Now, how you hold your pencil is very crucial and very important. So I want to actually stress that because so many people get it wrong. So when you hold your pencil, you want to do kind of this three shape here, like that. 3 shape, like a triangle. If you can remember younger children, when they learn to write, they would often have a pencil holder here, a finger grip pencil, or they would have a triangle shaped pencil. Now, holding your pencil to this degree or this angle is quite important. A lot of the times, the most common mistake that most people make when they're drawing is that they will only use this part of their hand. And if you do that for a very long time, your wrist will eventually hurt. When you do drawing, you actually have to use your entire elbow. So you've got to use your elbow to your hand. Basically, your entire arm has to move. And that actually makes it easier for drawing. So just give you an example like that. That makes it easier to draw, and you can draw for a longer time. So what I want to do with is an exercise that I always teach my students, the very beginning and the very basics. Now, for this exercise, you're going to draw straight lines. Now, that's kind of crucial, especially and useful when you want to draw shapes or objects which, can be much longer than the use of a ruler. So that's very important to know that. Now you're going to start off with your basic here. What you're going to do is, I normally do this with a ruler here, but I'm not going to, I do the dots here. So I'm going to start off with just give you horizontal lines. Horizontal lines meaning they're going from left to right, left to right. Now if you're left-handed, of course this is going to be swinged around. I would suggest you go from right to left. Move according to your body. In this case, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do this. And notice I'll be moving my entire arm. So what I'm going to do is, just to make sure that it's straight, only this part. You can set up lines, just take a ruler here, and you're going to draw kind of I'd say 2 centimeters apart, just to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's do that. And then what you want to do is, you're not going to draw a line. Don't cheat. I'm not drawing a line. I'm just going to draw dot to dot. So there we go. And I'm going to draw another dot there. Some artists do not do this. I think this is a very good practice. Most people, when they start to do drawing, they find this particular lesson extremely boring or very difficult, and there's a tendency to kind of give up. I would suggest that you just keep practicing. So we're going to start off with our horizontal lines, and this can take up to a while to get this done. So I'm going to do here, and I'm going to do that one, okay, and this one, like right here. Okay, so now let's get started. Put my ruler aside, here. So I'm going to try and draw a straight line. So what you want to do is you want to slide your hand across, okay? So you want to slide it there to there. This might not even be straight, now that I think of it. Let me see. Oh, okay, it is. Okay. All right, so now let's start. I'm going to get comfortable here. Don't be shy to erase any lines that you think are not straight. That happens. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move it like that. So before you start, you want to practice first. You want to kind of slide your hand across. So kind of do that. Okay. Now that's how I normally would do it. Very light. Go straight. 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 Slide it across like that. Okay, you'll see a lot of my lines are not straight. So usually for this lesson, I would sit down. I would actually, as a teacher, I would measure these lines and check if it's straight. So for this, for the video, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, let's start. So what you want to do is go again. I'm going to go darker. So it's good practice to do this. Straight lines. What this does is it'll teach you how to grip your pencil, how to move your hand, how to get familiar, how to get comfortable with what you're doing. And there you have it. So these are horizontal lines. So what you want to do is you want to write down horizontal. Okay. So that's the start. The second part of this is, of course, to go, I'll turn to a new page. Now, you could, of course, work on this side. I like to draw on this side because this side will become smudged. So for some people that it seems like a waste, but in the case of drawing, I prefer to draw on one side and keep one side blank. So the next option is you're going to work down. So we've done our horizontal line. So now what you want to do is you want to work down. So I'm just going to take a ruler for measurement, or you can do dots with a free hand if you want to. Up to you. So I'm going to do kind of this one. Give it about a 2 centimeter spacing. Sometimes people will use like just a centimeter. I like to give some space to myself. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to go all the way down. Let's make it about 10. You don't want to do more than 10 really. Up to you. So a dot on this side and then a dot on that side. Again, dot on this side, dot on that side, another one, dot on this side, dot on that side, and then again, dot on this side, dot on that side. Okay, and so forth. Okay, so now we're going to go kind of down. So I want to, again, like when you go down, you hold your hand kind of going down. You want to slide this part of your hand down. Careful not to smudge it. Some people would put a piece of paper underneath, but I'm going to kind of do this. I'm going to kind of go, so you want to practice first, get it, you know, so go like that. So 1, 2, straight lines. Okay, and there. So these lines are not perfect. I'm not happy with them. In particular, I might want to go through it again. Okay. Okay. So you really want to hold your pencil at an angle. Okay. So that part there, as you can see, is not straight, and there either. So I'm not happy with that. So I would naturally want to erase. Okay, I'm going to do that. And this part here, I'm also not happy with. So I would want to erase there. Okay. There and here. Oh, okay, so again, I'm going too fast. I think that my horizontal lines look better than my vertical lines today. Okay. So I'm probably going to have to do more practice on that. So some students will be very good at drawing horizontal lines. Other students will be good at doing vertical lines going down. So go down. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And these ones are called vertical lines. Okay. So in this lesson, you're going to learn how to draw straight lines, horizontal and vertical. Yeah. And then another exercise that I like to do is circles. So, okay, I'm going to move on to this page. Again, this side. So 3 pages today. All right, so hold out your hand kind of like this and put your thumb like that. There's one way you can do it. You can either kind of do it like this. Now, there's different ways you can do it. You can either do it like this. I'm going to show you this way first, where you would kind of draw very lightly and barely touching. Okay. We usually just go round and round and round like that. So I'm going to do like this, and I'm going to go like that. So again, very light onto your paper. The tendency for most people is when they draw a circle, they're like, oh, okay, they'll go straight and they'll just draw a circle kind of like that. No, please don't do that. What you want to do is you want to go very light. So practice your circles. Move your entire hand when you're doing that. Okay. One other thing that one of my teachers used to say, make sure that you don't draw eggs. Yeah, the ovoid shape. And we had to draw like 10 circles, or as many circles as we had to, cover the whole paper, and then we had to choose 10 circles, or, you know, ones that we thought were looking good. So now, let's start. So what I want to do is, so once you've established that you're quite confident in your circle, you can of course go darker. Then, this is the part where you kind of do it much darker, and you can kind of go like that, go kind of here, do that, and then go like that. Oh, sorry. And you would choose another one. For those of you with an iPad, you could do the same, by the way. Off topic. So what I want to do is, okay, make my circles sort of perfect. Okay. Again, you can see some of my circles are not perfect exactly. You want to watch out for like pointiness. So sometimes it's a good idea to kind of just go over here. Now, why we do these light lines is usually kind of, they act as guidelines. So it's you kind of use it to go like that. Okay, and then of course here, I want to do this one again. Okay, I'm not happy with that. You kind of go here. And you kind of do that one. There. Kind of do here. Okay, so I'm just going to do about 3 or 4. Then erase this. I'm going to clean that up. Okay, so my table's going to jolt here. Okay, so kind of, and what you want to do is you want to clean up the circle that you did draw quite nicely. So go around the outside, inside. Okay, go, and then that, just fix it up, make it nice. So I wouldn't say that these circles are the best. I would probably do a lot more work. This one is definitely not perfect. So again, if you don't get something right, it's always a good idea to kind of practice. Keep practicing. Okay. So that's one way. The other way, for no reason, some people do it that way. I'll show you this paper. Again, they would hold the pencil like this, kind of do 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of snot it here, there's a thumb, and they would kind of do this. Usually often this is done with chalk. The lighter part, 1, 2, go around, 3. But the actual drawing part, still that way. Okay, so this is the first lesson. You can practice as much as you want for this. So for today we drew circles, we drew vertical lines, and we drew horizontal lines. So the very basic, the very beginning of sketching. And in the next lesson, I will show you how to draw with your right brain and your left brain. And that's it. I hope that this lesson was informative. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be welcome to answer it. And thank you.